Okay, Cup of the Word. We're still here in Lamentations, and we're in chapter 2 today, and we're going to look at this section of Lamentations mourns the loss of the leadership and the protection of Israel. And it's really pointing out all of these things that they had trusted in as a nation were totally wiped out once God's protection went away. And so he talks about the city walls being torn down and the gates to the city with their giant bars protecting them from intruders just being torn from their hinges and rent asunder. Talks about the kings and the royalty being swept away and the nobles and nobility sent into slavery. He talks about the false prophets that they trusted in being cut asunder, and the priesthood, which had turned its back on God, being totally laid waste and sent into captivity with everybody else, and even the temple itself that they trusted in. The temple, not the God, not Jehovah. They'd turn their back on God, but they still would go to the temple and say, well, we have our false gods, and this is one of the gods that we worship. God said, fine, if you trust in that temple so much, I'll have to destroy it too. So you see that the temple was never the point. God, who had given them the temple, was more than happy to take that temple away the moment they trusted in the temple and the sacrifices and not in the God that had made the temple and the God whom the sacrifices were meant to go to. Because it was never about the temple, and it was never about the sacrifices. It was always about the willing hearts that gave it. It was always about God wanting the people to turn to Him and trust Him as a child would a father. But instead they'd rebelled. And because of that rebellion, now they were in slavery, and now all was lost, and all those smiling faces and happiness of the city are gone. The princess is in rags now. And the only thing that they're left with is the constant reminder in their poverty and need that they had always needed God all along. And if they'd only recognized it up front, all of this could have been avoided. That's your Daily Cup, and we'll see you tomorrow.